So can we start the session? Is that okay? I would like to get the confirmation from you.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So can you raise your hands so that I can have that information? So, okay. 6. What about others? If you're there, you can raise your hands so that I can track you. Who are there? Sounds good. Okay. So let me start with the next topic. And whether my slides are visible, can I get the confirmation regarding that also? Can anyone?
Right, visible, sir.
Okay. Okay. So let me start with the next module. This is the second last module of this course. And for the last module, we need to have some time for that because that's a little bit big module. So I'm on time. This is the 11th module where we are actually going with how to read text from images and documents. That means if you have some text in images, then how you can read that text from images and also documents. So which is the, before starting this, I would like to know about your knowledge. Which is the software that we are basically used for extracting text from images? Which is the name of the software that we are actually using for extracting text from images? Can anyone say? You are all working in AI ML domain, right? So you'll be familiar with that.
Tesseract.
OCR.
OCR.
OCR, Tesseract, right? Tesseract is one of the most popular software with which we can actually work. OCR means it's optical character recognition. So this is the basic technology that we are applying everywhere. In Tesseract also, we are actually using the optical character recognition. So Tesseract is one of the most popular software. Likewise, we will be having here, we will be having some resources that we can actually use. So in this module, we are going to deal with these kinds of things. So let me go with the first chapter of this module, that is how to read text with computer vision service. That means with the computer vision service, we are able to read the text from images. Okay, with the computer vision service, we are able to read the text from images and PDFs. And also, you can extract the information from forms. This is another topic, form recognizer. Form recognizer means we are actually familiar with forms. In everyday life, we are actually dealing with forms. One of the example is when you purchase some items from the shop, you're going to get a bill. So that will be the receipt. Okay, you're familiar with the invoices. When you need to apply for some interviews, you're going to fill some forms. Okay, so from that forms, how you're going to extract the key value pairs. So all those things will be studied in the second lesson. So let me start with the first lesson, that is reading text with the computer vision service. So when it comes to the case of computer vision service, there are basically two types of APIs, application program interface. One is the OCR API. OCR API means optical character recognition API. Okay, there are two APIs that is provided by the computer vision. One is the OCR API and next is the read API. You need to know about that. In exams, they are going to ask regarding this. OCR API and read API are the two types of API that is available in this computer vision resource. So what is the use of this OCR API and what is the use of this read API? Is there any difference between that? Yeah, exactly. There are some difference and we need to focus on that. When it comes to the case of OCR API, okay, when it comes to the case of OCR API, you are able to read small to medium volumes of text. This is important point. This is the important point. Read small to medium volumes of text from images. Okay, from the images you can read small to medium volumes of text. You cannot do that with the PDF. Okay, you cannot do that. You cannot apply this OCR API on PDF. From images, you can read the small to medium volumes of text. It supports text in multiple languages. It supports text in multiple languages. This is the second highlight of this OCR API. Third highlight, it uses a single call to get an immediate result. So what do you mean by that? When you're giving a request, and in response to that request, you're going to get the reply back immediately. Okay, you're going to get the reply immediately. You're going to get the reply immediately after giving your request. Okay, after giving your request, you're going to get the reply immediately. So this is a synchronous approach. Okay, this is a synchronous approach. But when it comes to the case of read API is actually optimized for reading large volumes of text. Okay, here we can read large volumes of text from images and also from PDF. So when your requirement is to read large volumes of text, then go with the read API. Don't go with the OCR API. When you're dealing with PDF, go with the read API. Don't go with the OCR API, because when it comes to the case of OCR API, we are able to read text from images, right? So here we are able to read from PDF also. It is the newest model with greater accuracy performance. That means read API is the newer model that is giving with greater accuracy performance. So this is the next feature. The third feature reads printed text in multiple languages. This feature is already there in OCR API. In addition to that, you are able to detect handwritten text in English. Okay, you are able to detect handwritten text in English. This property is not there in OCR API, but with the read API, we are able to read the handwritten text, but that should be in English. That's the condition. That should be in English. It uses an asynchronous programming model. So what do you mean by this method? You're giving the request. Okay, you're going to give the request. So this is your request. Okay, this is your request to the read API. Okay, to the read API. In response to that, you are going to get an operation ID. Okay, operation ID. You're going to get an operation ID. You can use this operation ID later to check that your result is ready or not. Okay, when you're giving the request, you're going to get this operation ID, and with this operation ID, you can again request the service regarding whether the results are completed or not. Okay, whether you are able to get the results or not. But in the case of OCR API, when you're giving the request, in response to that, you're going to get the reply. But in this case, it's an asynchronous manner. That means it's asynchronous function poll for results. So these are the properties, or these all are the features that we are getting from this computer vision resources. That means you will be having two options, OCR API and read API, with which you can read the text from images and PDFs. And when we are calling the OCR API, okay, when we are calling the OCR API, I told you that here we are actually giving images, not PDF. Here we are going to give the images. You are going to supply with the endpoint, and also the language that the default language will be English. Then you can specify whether you need to detect the orientation or not. This is the body that can be a URL, or it can be a binary image data. When you're giving this request, it is going to give you with this JSON response. Okay, it is going to give you with this JSON response. So what all are the information that you're getting? You're going to get the language, then you're able to get the angle of that particular text, then you're going to get the orientation information. There are 4 orientations, up, down, left, and right. You're going to get that. Then this OCR API will give you results in this format. You're going to get the region, and inside this region you will be having lines. Okay, you will be having lines. Inside these lines you will be having words. Okay, this is the style in which you're going to get the result. You're going to get the region, and inside this region you will be having lines. Inside these lines you will be having words. So you're going to get the regions here, and the bounding box of that region is specified here. This is the top left coordinates, and this is the width and height. Okay, so this is the bounding box information, and inside this region you will be having multiple lines, and for that lines you will be having the bounding box information. Then inside each of these lines you will be having multiple words. Okay, so inside this line you will be having 2 words, hello and world. So for each of this word, you are going to draw a bounding box. You are going to get this information here. And for this word, world word, you're going to get this bounding box information. So this is the response that you're going to get. So please note that you're going to get the results in this format: regions, lines, and words. In an image, there may be multiple regions where you are able to detect the text. So in each of these regions, you will be having some lines, and inside these lines, you will be having the words. So when it comes to the case of read API, what is the difference? You can give images or PDFs as input, and along with that, what is the advantage? You can detect the handwritten letters in English, right? You are able to read large amounts of text from this PDF and images. This is the newer model. Okay, so here you need to use two methods. One is the read function. You need to call this read function to get an operation ID. That's why I told you that it's an asynchronous method. It's an asynchronous method. Okay, when we are giving the request, look at this. When you're giving this request, okay, you're going to get an operation ID. You're going to get an operation ID. In our earlier case, it's not like that. When you're giving the request, you're going to get the reply back. Suddenly, you're going to get the reply back. But in read API, in exams, they are going to ask regarding this. When it comes to the case of read API, you're going to give the request. Sorry, you're going to give the request, and in response to that, you're going to get an operation ID. Once you are able to get this operation ID, you are able to call another function called get read results. Okay, get read results. This is another function, and to this function, you are specifying the operation ID. Okay, you are going to get this operation ID in the first phase, and you are going to give this operation ID in the second request. This is the second request. Okay, this is the second request. And in response to the second request, you're going to get this JSON response. So what all are the information that you're getting? You're going to get the status, creation date, last updated date. Then you're going to get the results in which format. That is the main difference. You're going to get the page. Inside this page, you will be having lines. Inside these lines, you will be having words. Okay, page, lines, and words. But in OCR API, it's different. It's region, lines, and words. You're going to see that, okay, you are able to extract the pages. Then you are able to extract the language, the angle of that particular page. You are able to extract the width, height. Okay, then you are able to get the bounding box. So when it comes to the case of bounding box, you can see that this is the top left. This is the top right. Okay, this is the bottom right, and this is the bottom left. But in our earlier case, it's not like that. Here, this is the top left. This is the width and the height. Okay, this is the second difference that I need to mention. And you're okay with that? I hope that it's okay with you. Is that okay? Can I get the confirmation? And also, you're going to get the confidence score for each of these text detected. Is that okay?
Could you repeat about the bounding boxes?
Okay, sure. So when it comes to the case of read API, so let me open my whiteboard. So think like that. This is the bounding box. So for this point, you will be having bounding box. So two values, x and y. For this, you will be having x and y. And for this coordinate, you will be having x and y. And for this also, you're going to get x and y. So this is x1, y1. Okay, this is x2, y2. This is x3, y3. And this is x4, y4. You in that read API, you're going to get all the coordinates information. But when it comes to the case of OCR API, what you're getting is that for this point, you will be having x and y. And along with that, you're going to get the width and you're going to get the height. If this information is available to you, then you can draw the bounding box. Is that clear? This is for OCR API.
Yes, sir.
This is for read API. So I hope that it's clear to you. Then you will be having one lab for testing your images with the OCR API and test that with the read API. We can work with that. Okay, we can work with that. And When it comes to the case of next lesson, here we are actually dealing with forms. So what all are the common type of forms? So first of all, we know that in business, we are actually dealing with forms. Okay, in everyday life, we are actually dealing with forms, because when we are purchasing some items, you're going to get the receipt. Sometimes you're going to get the invoice. You are familiar with the business cards. Okay, when we meet someone, we can give the business cards so that they can contact us for the later point of time. So my question is that, is there any difference between receipt and invoice? Receipt and invoice. Is there any difference between receipt and invoice?
Receipt could be informal document without proper structure. Invoice is has proper details.
The taxation details will be there.
Okay. Other than that, is there any specific regarding this receipt and invoice? That's a good answer. That's okay.
Invoice having a GST number, I think so.
Okay. When it comes to the case of receipt, we are not getting like that. So let me clear about this. Thing like that. Sometimes before giving the payment, okay, thing like this. Before giving the payment, we are getting invoice. Okay, before we are making some transactions, we are getting the invoice, and after making the transactions, you're going to get the receipt. Are you clear with that? Are you clear with that? Before making the payment, you're going to get the invoice, but in shops we are not going to get all these details, right? Receipts and invoice, you're not going to get that. But the thing like that, you're working in an IT company, and you're the head of this operations team, and you need to buy some computers like that. So first of all, you need to put a contract, right? You need to put a contract, and when you give a contract, some companies may give the invoice to you regarding the prices for that particular components or that particular laptops or desktops. So if you're okay with that, so they are going to give you the invoice. Okay, all the companies are giving you with all the vendors are giving you with the invoice, and you're going to pick up one out of that. Okay, we are going to pick one vendor out of that, and once you confirm with that vendor, you are going to purchase the items from that particular vendor, and after you're giving the payment, you're going to get the receipt. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes.
So invoice is a type of form that you're going to get before making the payment. After making the payment, you're going to get the receipt. So that's the difference. That's the main difference. And business cards, you're knowing with that. So everyone is having some business cards. I am having my business card. When I'm contacting someone, I will surely give the business cards to them so that they can contact with me at later point of time. So there are some difference between receipts, invoice, and business cards. You need to be aware of that. And there are also some other forms that will not come under this classification, like receipt, invoice, or business card. For example, when you need to apply for some interview, you will be given with some forms, and where you need to provide your information, like the education, from where you are getting your degree, like the experience, your name, age, gender, all this information that you're submitting in a form. This is another type of forms. Sometimes you're running a business and your forms are different from the normal forms. So your receipt style is somewhat different, or your invoice style is somewhat different. It may be like that. So form recognizer is a service with which you are able to detect the key value pairs. Key value pairs means, what do you mean by key value pairs? For example, you know that in every receipt, there will be name for that particular. Okay, suppose I am going to buy some items from the Reliance. Then that Reliance Mart name is there. So that is the merchant name. So that is the merchant name. So likewise, I'm purchasing some items, and in that bill, I will be getting the item name and also the price. Okay, this is the item, and this is the price. So you need to extract each of these items. There can be different items under that list, and this is the price for that particular items. You need to extract this information, like the key value pair. What all are the items that you're purchasing? The first item that I purchased is like you can Pepsi. So Pepsi. So item is the key and Pepsi is the value. Likewise, for that price, you'll be having a particular price for that. Okay, so these are the things that you're going to extract from this form recognizer service. using the form recognizer service. So data extraction from forms. So there are pre-built models for common form types. There are pre-built models for common form types like receipts, invoice, business cards. Okay, if you are going to deal with that, then you can use the pre-built models available inside this form recognizer service. But if you need to train your own models, for example, you are running a business and your form is actually different from the style that we are actually using in receipt invoices or business cards. If your form is actually different from these kinds of forms, then you can train your form recognizer model with your own forms. So you can train custom models from your own forms. There are two methods in which you can train. One is the unsupervised method, where you're not going to supply any labels. And in supervised, you're going to label each and everything in that particular form. So you'll be having the option for pre-built using pre-built models, or you can train your own models like the language understanding. I told you that in language understanding, we'll be having the option for training. Then in custom vision, we'll be having the option for training for image classification and object detection. Likewise, here also you'll be having the option for using the pre-built models, or you can go with the custom models. Then in order to use this service, you can go with the form recognizer resource. This is a single service resource. With this form recognizer resource, you are able to create only the you are able to use only the form recognition capability. But if you're opting for cognitive service, you are going to get this form recognizer, computer vision service. You're going to get so many features like the natural language processing, text analytics. You can do all those things if you're going with the multi-service cognitive service. So that is the main idea that I need to give to you. So you're going to give a form to the system. Okay, that means the cognitive, you're going to give that to the service. Then you can use the receipt, invoice, or business cards, or you can train your custom models. And when it comes to the case of pre-built models, okay, when it comes to the case of pre-built models, I told you that there are three models specific to the three types of forms. One is for receipts, one is for invoice, and one is for business cards. So the first request that you need to give, or the first REST API call that you need to give, is analyze receipt. Okay, if you're dealing with the receipt, if you're using the pre-built model for receipt, then the first REST call will be analyze receipt, and you're going to get the result ID in response. You're going to get the result ID in response. Once you get this result ID, you can give this result ID to the second call, that is the get analyze receipt result. So look at the name, receipt, here also receipt. So when we are giving this result ID to the second REST call, you're going to get this JSON response. So from this form, you can see that merchant name, it is able to detect the fourth coffee as the merchant name. This is the key and this is the value. Transaction date, okay, like 2021-01-01, you are able to get that. Transaction time, you are able to that. So transaction time is the key and value is this time. You are able to extract each of the items and the corresponding price of that items. So you are able to extract the total information. So that's the beauty. That's the beauty. Okay. When we are dealing with invoice, only difference is that instead of this receipt, we are replacing that word with invoice. So you're going to get a result ID here also. Okay. And you're going to give that result ID to this second REST call. So here, instead of receipt, you're going to get this name invoice. And similarly, you can see the vendor name, invoice number, invoice date. You're going to get the total invoice amount. You're able to extract that. When it comes to the case of business cards, when you're giving a business card, you're going to call the first REST API. This is the first REST API call. You're going to get the result ID and you're going to supply this result ID to the second REST API call. And you're going to get the contacts names from this business card like Hang, Song, whatever name that you are able to extract. So this is the examples of pre-built models. Okay, this is the examples of pre-built models. When you're dealing with your own models, or when you're dealing with your own forms, thing like that, you don't need to work with the receipts, or you don't need to work with the invoice, or you don't need to work with the business cards. Your business is actually using some other kinds of forms, and you need to train your own form recognizer models with those forms. So the primary requirement is that in order to train your model, you need to have at least 5 sample images or PDFs. Okay, you need to have at least 5 sample images or PDF. This I'm talking here about the unsupervised method. That means here you are not going to provide any labels. Here you are not going to provide any labels. You need to upload at least 5 sample images or PDF to the Azure storage blob container. So this is the this is one storage where you can actually load all those images of PDF. And once you are able to load all those in the Azure storage blob container, you're going to generate a shared access security. You're going to generate a shared access security. So with this SAS, okay, with this SAS URL, you will be able to access. So what I'm saying. So let me tell you that. Let me clear all the things from here. You will be having an Azure blob storage container. Here you are putting your forms. Okay, and in order to access this storage container, okay, in order to access this storage container, you need to have some SAS URI. Okay, so you need to have this URL in order to access this storage. Then only you are able to access the forms inside this storage. So that's the idea behind that. So once you are able to get this SAS URL, you can use that SAS URL for training the custom model. Okay, so you're going to train your custom model, and it is going to take the data from the Azure storage blob container using this SAS URL that you are passing. Once you train your model, you're going to get a model ID. Okay, once you're trained with a model, you're going to get a model ID. Okay, you're going to get a model ID. You're going to get a model ID. You can use this model ID for the inference. Inference means when you are giving new test data, you're going to use that train model, right? You're going to use that train model, and your train model will say regarding what all are the fields that that model is going to extract from that particular forms. So this is all about the unsupervised. When it comes to the case of supervised type of approach, the things are a little bit different. Here you need to provide your forms along with the label information. Okay, so two kinds of informations are needed here in the case of supervised. That means you need to provide your forms, sample forms. Along with that sample forms, you need to provide the label. So this is the forms, and you need to provide the corresponding label information too. So that is called as supervised. Here the label. So what do you mean by label information? So here you need to specify that these all are the fields that I need to. For example, you will be having one form here. You will be having say age, then gender, like that. So you're specifying that I need to extract the age. I need to extract the gender, like that. So that information is represented as a JSON file. Okay, that information, that labels are represented in the form of a JSON files that containing the layout and the label field information. That means it needs to know about where your text is located. If that text contains any selection or checkbox, or if your selection, if your form contain any radio button. Okay, then you need to get to know about all the location of that particular things in that particular form. Then you need to provide the sample forms and the labels, and you can store that in the Azure blob container. And after that, you are generating this SAS URL for the container. Okay, you can use this SAS URL for training your custom model. Here the difference is, in the train custom model, you're going to have a parameter called use label file. Okay, you will be having a parameter called use label file. You need to set that to true. If you're setting that to true, that means you're going with the supervised learning. If you're setting this parameter to false, then it means that you're going to train with the unsupervised method. So use label file equal to true means you're going to use the supervised method. If you're setting this as false, then you're going to say that you're going to train your model with the unsupervised method. After that, you can get the model ID. Okay, later on you can do the inference with the model ID, or you can use the sampling labeling tool. This is another approach with which we can label your forms and train your own custom models. So when we are dealing with the custom model, okay.
For example, if we have a form that is not like radio buttons and check boxes, and there are blanks in between the like printed text, the customer need to it will be like a handwritten text in between.
Right,
So
right. So that can be detected or not, right?
Yeah, like how to detect, like
Yeah.
if it is detected also, how we need to separate and
Yeah, we need to
get
provide
it
all those information in the labels. Okay, that means if you're providing a name and a corresponding field, then you need to specify that this is the label for that name and this is the text field for that name. You need to specify those information in the supervised category. When it comes to the case of unsupervised category, you don't need to mention anything. It will be automatically learned from the forms. Are you getting my point?
Yeah, but can we give like only the handwritten text need to be identified in the particular field?
Yeah, when it comes to the case of handwritten, that's in preview stage. Okay, that's in preview stage. When it comes to the case of form recognizer, we are actually dealing with the printed text. And now they are actually supporting the handwritten text also, but that's in preview stage. Are you getting my point?
Yeah. Okay.
So when we are dealing with the custom models, the same approach, first of all, you need to call the analyze form function. Here you are going to get the result ID. And you're passing this result ID to the second call and you're going to get the results back. In earlier case, you learned about analyze receipt, get analyze receipt result, analyze business card, get analyze business card result, analyze invoice, get analyze invoice result. Likewise, for your model, you need to call these two functions. But in order to use that, you need to provide the model ID. Okay, so this is the two-way procedure. First of all, you are going to get the result ID, and in the second call, you are going to pass the result ID, and you are going to get the results. So here you can see that you're going to get the results in the form of page results, and inside this page you are going to get the key value pair. What is the key and what is the value for that? Okay, so here the order date, you're going to get the text back. Okay, so you can get the results in documents results or in page results. But when we are dealing with that, so I need to emphasize on this. First of all. So let me go to the AI 102. There are also some other requirements. 102. Let me show you that. Go to the, you can get all these things inside your MOOC. Okay, go to the second last module and here extract data from forms. Then use the get started with form recognizer. So these are the information that you need to know. If you're using form recognizer, the format must be JPEG, PNG, PDF or TIFF. Okay, these are the formats supported. In exams, they will ask you regarding this. File size must be less than 50 MB. This is the another requirement. You need to know about this. Image dimension must between 50 cross 50 pixels and 10,000 cross 10,000 pixels. The total size of the training data set must be 500 pages or less. Okay, these are the main information that we need to know. Okay, then you can use the form recognizer for getting the layouts of that form, or you can actually get the information key value pairs from this. You can extract the information from the forms. So let me show you how to do that. First of all, we need to go with the first exercise, right? So for that, let me go back and select this module 11, reading text and images. So let me share this link to you. What we are going to do is that we are going to take our Visual Studio, and here you need to open this custom forms, not the custom forms, 20th exercise, 20th folder, that is 20 OCR. Okay, 20th folder OCR. Go and expand this Python. Okay, then inside that you will be having the folder read text. Okay, you will be having the folder read text, And when it comes to the case of this SDK, you need to first of all install this SDK. Okay, we need to install this SDK. They are saying that you need to copy this SDK, and let me post that in the chat box. Okay, so let me post that in the chat box. So in order to use this SDK, first of all, we need to create a resource. Okay, we need to create a resource in Microsoft Azure. So let me go and create one computer vision service resource. Computer vision. Sorry. You can parallelly do that. Create computer vision.
In this free trial, don't we have that text API, Nithin?
We can do that. We can get that. Text API and all those things can be done using the free trial also. But the difference is that when it comes to the case of training, when it comes to the case of detection part, when we are giving the PDF, only first two pages can be obtained if you are using with the free trial. If you're using with the standard version, then you can extract all the pages from the PDFs. Are you getting my point? If you're using free trial, then you are only able to get the text from the first two pages. That's the difference.
Got it. Yeah, in GitHub repository, it was not showing, right? Only OCR was showing. That's why I got it.
Yeah, okay. So I'm putting like this CV or demo 300. Let me, oh, you can go with the cognitive service also, because anyway your credits is going to expire on within this month, right? You're going to lose your credits. So it will be better to go and create that cognitive service. So in my case, it's not like that. That's why I'm saving all those things. So let me wait for that. And during that point of time, so let me go and expand this retext, and inside these images, you can see some images. Okay, so this is one image, and at the top, you can see this in this temple as in the hearts of the people for whom he saved the union. Okay, this is the text that we are going to detect. And when it comes to this not.jpg, this contains handwritten letters. Okay, this contains handwritten letters. And then we'll be having one PDF, rom.pdf. This is another PDF file. So let me open that PDF file. Okay, so let me open that PDF file and to show you. So A102, let me go to the OCR, Python, retext, images. So I'll be having one PDF in that. So this is the PDF that I'm going to give. So let me take this one. And this is the environment file. In this environment file, what all are the information that we need to provide? You need to provide the keys and endpoints of your computer vision resource, or if you're creating the cognitive service, then you need to copy that keys and endpoints. So let me copy the key. Okay, so let me copy the key, and let me copy this endpoint and paste that here. I've supplied those information. So let me go to the readtext.py. The same idea, we are importing the necessary modules here. Then you need to import the namespace. So in order to import the namespace, I told you that first of all you need to install this SDK. So go and right click this read text, okay, folder, and go and install this pip install. The requirement already satisfied, it is there. So we can actually import the namespace. Go down. So these are the namespace that we need to import. Copy this. Same computer vision client, operation status code. Okay, then you're going to import the cognitive service credential. Then after that, you're reading the endpoint and the key from the environment file. Then you need to authenticate the computer vision client, right? So go down. So this is the same command that we have used earlier. So I am passing this information here. And after that, again, it is asking for like this. If you are typing 1, then you're going to use the OCR API. If you're entering the number 2, then you're going to use the read API. If you're entering the number 3, then you're going to read handwriting image. You're going to read handwritten letters from the images. And if you're typing any other number, then you're going to exit from the entire code. Okay, so this is the command for that. And you can see that image file, images/lincoln.jpg, image file, images, rom.pdf. So not .jpg. So these are the images. These are the images and PDF that you're going to give. Then you will be having definition for get text OCR and get text read. So this is actually using the read API, and this is actually using the OCR API. So let me go down and use this OCR API. So this is the code for that. Let me put the comment here. And this is the code for OCR API, and we will be having the code for the read API. Go down. Okay, this is the code for read API. Okay, so let me save the code. So what we are doing, first of all, we are calling the get text OCR, and we are getting this image. We are reading that image, and we are calling the recognize print text in stream. That is a function that we are calling. And you're going to get the OCR results in this variable. And we are going to plot the drawing on that particular image. Okay, you're going to get the regions. Okay, in that regions, you're going to get the, in this result, you're going to get the regions, and inside these regions, you're going to get the line. And for each of these lines, you're going to draw the bounding box, and you're going to get the left top X and Y. You're going to get the width and height, and you're going to draw rectangle on that particular line. And in that particular line, you will be having some words. You're going to extract each of these words, and you're going to print that complete line. Okay, then you're going to store that result in OCR results.jpg, and finally you're going to I will display that image to you. So let me save the program. And run this. So what is the way to run this program? Go and right click this read text, and what is the name of this? Python, then read -text.py. Asking for so let me wait for that. It is asking for use OCR API, or whether we need to use read API, or whether we need to opt for this handwriting recognition. So let me go with the first one. Reading text in images. Are you able to see this? In this temple, as in the hearts of the people for whom he saved the union, you are able to see this text from that image, right? And along with that, you are going to save that image here. Are you getting the results? Are you able to see this? Yes or no? Are you able to see this?
Yes.
You are able to draw the bounding box over that text, right? So, and also you're going to print that text in the terminal. So this is one approach. And let me close this one. Can we use, my question is that, can we use this OCR API for reading from handwritten images? Yes or no?
No.
Can we do that? That's a question to you. So let me give this node.jpg. Okay, instead of lincoln.jpg, let me give node.jpg. So what is this node.jpg? Let me show you. This is the node.jpg. Okay, this is the node.jpg. Again, I'm going to save the program and run that with the OCR API. Let me run that with the OCR API. So what will be the result? Let me run that with the OCR API. I'm giving handwritten text. Are you able to read anything there? You are not able to read anything there. That's why I told you that you cannot read handwritten, or you cannot detect handwritten letters from the using the OCR API. But with the read API, you can do that. With the read API, you can do that. If I'm giving this one, Python read.text again .py, and now suppose I'm going to choose the third option, read handwriting. Okay, read handwriting. So let me use the read API course. So here you are able to detect that, right? Shopping list, non-fat milk, bread, eggs. So this is the OCR API. So let me refresh that.
Can we give both at a time for the read API?
I'm not getting that.
No, just here, even if we have a printed text, so both can be detected at once?
Yeah, in the read API. In the read API.
Okay.
In the read API, you will be getting support for the
No, in a
printed
single
text
sheet, I am
in the
in a single sheet. We can able to get, right?
yeah, sure. You are able to get if you are giving an image, and in that image you will be having the printed text and the handwritten text. You are able to do that with the read API. But with the OCR API, you cannot do that.
But only we can't differentiate which is the text and which is the printed and which is the handwritten, even in the text API, right?
Right. If you're using this read API, you are able to extract the text from the handwritten letters, and also you can extract the text from the printed text if you're using with the read API. But if you're going with the OCR API, then in that case, you will be only able to extract that text in printed format. That's the difference. Hope you are able to get that point, right?
Yes.
So here, when we look at this read API, instead of this regions, you're going to get what is the format used here? Look at this, get text read. You're passing the image file, then you're going to read the image, right? You're going to read the image, and this is an asynchronous operation. As I told, you're going to get a link here, and then from that link you need to actually extract the operation ID. Okay, you need to extract the operation ID. You're going to get a operation ID. So with this operation ID, you are again making a call, and you're checking that your result is ready or not. So this is an asynchronous operation. In the while loop, it is checking, we are giving this operation ID, and we are checking that if read results.status, if that read result.status is not running or not started, then it will be inside this while loop. And if it is completed, then it will come out of that while loop, and you are able to see the results. So it's an asynchronous operation. Sometimes in the question, they may be asking regarding you. It's an asynchronous method. At that time itself, you can pick the read API. Okay, if you're getting that word itself in the question, you can go with the read API. If you're not getting like that, then you need to read the entire question. Okay, that's the strategy that we need to understand. So with this, you can read image PDFs also. So let me run the PDF. Let me run the Python file with the specified PDF. So let me do that. Use the read API to reading text in images rom.pdf. You are able to read all the printed text from the PDF, right? The historic center of the city is UNESCO World Heritage Site with wonderful places. Is that clear to all of you?
Yes. One doubt, Nithin.
Right.
Is it all applicable only for the English language, or do we have multi-language support?
Yeah, when it comes to the case of printed text, it supports multiple language. Okay, when it comes to the case of printed text, it will support multiple language. When it comes to the case of handwriting letters, remember that with the OCR API, we cannot detect anything in the handwriting letters, but with the read API, we can detect handwriting letters only in English. It supports only English language when it comes to the case of handwriting.
Can't we train anything?
So here we can train our forms. With the help of this form recognizer, even though we are only supported with English in the case of handwriting images. Are you able to get that?
Yeah.
Now we are good to go with the form recognizer. Okay. When it comes to the case of test factor, I told you that there also we can train our own models. But in this Microsoft, with this computer vision service, we are able to use this two type of API, that is the read API and OCR API. That's why in the slides itself, it is mentioned that look at this, support text in multiple languages. But in the case of read API, it reads printed text in multiple languages and handwritten text in English.
Oh.
So this is.
Can you share where we need to? Can you show where we need to change these options?
I don't get that.
No, in the Visual Studio you are showing, right? So this language preferences. Is there any way to change, or it automatically detect the language and then it is going to?
By default, that will be in English. And if you need to change the particular language, what you can do is that you need to call the REST API calls, and where you can specify the language. So let me show you that. So are you able to see this?
Yes.
Language here, you can specify the language that you need.
Okay.
So we will be having the option for everything, but the thing is that we need to go through the Microsoft documentation, Microsoft Docs. That's the main. I would like to tell, like, it's an encyclopedia where we are able to get all the functions and what all are the parameters that we can set. Okay, so you can go through that.
Pass that command in the terminal, right?
Yeah. Or otherwise, what we can do is that we can directly run the curl script. Okay, in the curl script, we can do that. In the curl, we can give the HTTP request, and you can run that curl command to call this REST API calls. Otherwise, if you are going for the further, if you are going through the SDK parameters, you are able to get that also. In the SDK also, you are able to set the languages for that. Are you able to get my point?
Yes.
So let me, can we able to, so I have one question, can we able to extract the content from this image? Sure, you are able to extract the content from that image. You are able to extract that content from that image. You can use both the, what I need to say, you can use both the read API and OCR API for that. If your texts are printed, then you can do that.
Okay, so this contains two things, right? See, as a person, I need to understand what was the SQL error code that was thrown out. Okay, and I have certain information being carried out here. For example, as a human brain, I understand there is a SQL code is -805. So one of the package was missing in the.
Right, I got that. I got your idea. So we need to take the appropriate actions, right?
Exactly. So
yeah,
as a person, I need to take certain action here, right? So I can do that kind of automation in a different level.
Sure, we can actually combine all those things. Think of the language understanding.
Mm-hmm.
We can integrate language understanding and this OCR API or read API in a single code. We can do all those things.
Okay. So let me try this then.
In the image, I'm going to give like turn the light off. In the image, I'm going to give like this, turn the light off. And this OCR API or read API is going to extract the that contents. Okay, that means that letter turn the light off. And once we are able to get that text, we can pass that information to the language understanding. Then it can perform the appropriate actions for that. Are you getting my point?
Mm-hmm.
So there are different ways in which we can integrate. But in this course, what we are actually learning is that we are learning about each and every services, and depends upon your project, you can combine multiple services in a single project. So that's the idea that I need to share to you. So for that, it's your duty. When it comes to the case of language understanding, we are only able to extract the indents and the entities, and it's your duty to perform the code for that action. Sometimes if I'm giving the command like this, turn the light off, then I need to actually turn off the light in my room. So who is responsible for making that connection? It's me. I need to perform that home automation system. Is that okay?
Okay.
Yeah, we can actually set up the language in SDK also. You can go with the, you can directly go to the SDK documentation available inside the Microsoft Docs, and you are going to get so many parameters there. There you'll be having the option for setting the parameters also. So I hope that it's clear to you.
So here you mean to say that this image, the content of that image can be extracted by using both read API and OCR.
When it comes to the case of printed text.
I
When
mean,
it comes to the case of
image
handwritten,
with printed text.
yeah, in the case of printed text, you are able to use read API or OCR API.
Okay.
And after that, once you are able to extract those things, give this data for the further analysis for the other service. That's the logic that I'm saying. So get the output from one service and give as the input to the other service. So are you getting my idea?
Yeah, yes.
So likewise, I have done so many projects. So one of my project, so I would like to say about that in this time. So earlier in 2013, when I am doing MTech, I am having one concept, when you are watching some TV, when you are watching some program in your TV, and you are interested in one particular dress shown in that TV, right? So in that video, at that time, what you can do, you can sit in your sofa and just swipe your hands in the air, swipe your hands in the air. At that time itself, TV is able to recognize your hand gesture, and it will show you the corresponding price of that particular shirt in the TV screen. Okay, that's the project that I have done. So for that project, I got the IEEE Best Paper Award for that logic. So I'm actually using so many algorithms there. I'm combining so many algorithms there. And during that time, I'm actually getting some outputs from one algorithm and feeding that output to the another algorithms. So it depends upon the logic that we are having. You can get the understanding about what all are the services available in Azure, and based upon your requirement, you can do that.
We got it. Suppose we are using one of the OCR images in the PDF format, we're going to use it to read API. I mean, you know.
If you're using PDF,
read API.
If you're using PDF, then you need to use the read API. You cannot do that with the OCR API.
Yeah, we got it. I mean, there is an invoice from the different insurance companies. Take an example, and we need to extract.
Okay.
Features.
So let me.
Then we need to
give
the services to the we need to use model building for that.
For
so how
do we use? For the forms, you don't need to use this OCR or read API given in this code. For that, you will be having separate code for that. By using the form recognizer, I will go through that in the next exercise. Okay, if you're dealing with the forms, then you need to use the form recognizer. By default, it is actually using the OCR. Okay, it is actually using the OCR or read API, but we will be having separate services for that, like the form recognizer. I will go through that. I'm getting your point. Okay, if you're giving some forms, then how you are able to extract the key value pair? That's a question. So if you're using this OCR API or read API like this, then you're not able to extract the key value pair. You're not able to extract the key value pair because the system does not know which is the key and which is the value, right? So if you're using the form recognizer, then you can do that. Is that clear?
Yeah, let me. I mean, maybe in the
let
next.
me show you. Let me show you the codes for that, and we will run that. So let me close this OCR and read text API, all those things, and let me go with the custom forms. Okay, let me go with the custom forms. So in this case, you can see that 21. Go to the 21 folder. That is the custom forms, and first of all, let me open that from the Explorer. So in the 21st folder, you are seeing some forms, right? This is one form, Hero Limited. You're going to see one invoice here, right? Then you will be supplying with another form. Okay, these are different forms. Okay, form 5. We are going to train our own custom models. Okay, we are going to train our own custom models, and later on when we are giving a new form, it is able to extract the key value pair. I will show you how to do that. Okay, I will show you how to do that. And the first procedure is that we need to go to the Azure portal, go and provision form recognizer service. Okay, form recognizer service. And here, what you can do is that go and create a form recognizer service. If you're using cognitive service, then it's okay. So resource group Azure Pass, I'm going to choose that one. Resource group AI102. Let me give a name for this FR demo 300. This is the name that I'm going to give. Pricing tier, let me go with the free tier. Let me go and create this form recognizer. Okay, let me go and create this form recognizer. Please batch the instructions or please batch the things that I am actually showing to you. You can do that. So validation is completed. Now we can go and create this service. So during that time, what you need to do? Go to the AI102 page and look at this. Here you can see this exercise, extract data from forms. Okay, extract data from forms. So let me share that link to you. Copy. This is the exercise for the form recognizer. And they are saying that first of all, we need to install the SDK for that. Okay, we need to install the SDK for that. So let me copy this SDK. Okay, this is the SDK that we need to install. Here, I'm able to create that form recognizer, right? I'm able to create that form recognizer. Now it's okay. So let me go to the codes and open this Python folder. Okay, before the Python folder, can you see this setup.cmd command? Are you able to see this setup.cmd command? Are you able to see this?
Yes.
Yes.
You are able to see this command, right? Now go and click this custom forms. This is the main folder. Open that in integrator terminal. Here you need to log into your Azure portal using the AZ login command. AZ login. Let me put like this: AZ login in the terminal. So it is asking for my username and password, that is the credentials. Now I have logged in. So let me go to that. I'm able to see all my services available subscription inside this Azure portal. Now I have done with that. Then in this command, what we are doing. So they are asking for subscription ID, right? They are asking for the subscription ID. Now what I'm going to do. So go to the recognizer, form recognizer, or whatever service that you like. Here you can see that you can see a subscription ID here. This is the unique ID for that subscription. Okay, copy that ID. Okay, copy that ID and paste that here in the case of subscription ID. Resource group, in which resource group that you are actually working, So let me tell you that AI102 is a resource group that I'm actually working with. So this is the subscription ID that I'm actually working, right? I have copied that. Then AI102 is the resource group name. So let me copy this name here. Okay, then set the location. So what is the location? Here the location is East US. Don't give this name. Okay, don't give this name. The code for this East US is East US in lowercase. Okay, so how you are able to get that? So at the top, you can see that at the top here, you'll be seeing AZ account list locations table. So what is the purpose of that? I know the code, but I'm not going to directly type there. I would like to show that to you. So let me hit enter. You can see the locations. For East US, what is the code? This is the code, East US. So you need to copy this code, East US. Okay, you need to copy this code for this particular region. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put the location East US. So let me save the code. And by running this code, what will happen is that inside my Azure portal, Okay, inside my Azure portal, a storage account will be created. And inside that storage account, you will be having all the files with which you need to train. Okay, I already showed you these are the forms with which I need to train. Okay, these are the forms with which I need to train. So I'm going to load all these forms into the Azure blob storage container. And later on, I'm going to train my form recognizer model. So let me save the file. Let me save the file and run this code. So in order to run this code, what I need to do, I need to type here /setup /setup. Here you can see that creating storage. So what is the thing that is performing here? We'll be uploading all the forms to the Azure storage blob container. So wait for that. It is now creating the storage. Uploading files. That means all the files inside these sample forms. Okay, that means all the files get uploaded to the Azure portal. So in the storage account, you can see that. Then you're going to see the progress 1 out of 16. It is uploading all the files inside that particular folder. So here, please focus on this. Please focus on this. I told you how to train the custom model. You need to upload at least five images of PDF. After that, you can generate a SAS, that is the shared access security URL for the container. We are actually doing these two things. Okay, we are actually doing these two things. Now you are uploading all the files. And let me take a notepad. Let me take a notepad here. It's taking time, so let's wait for that. Finished. SAS URI. Okay, this is the SAS URI that you need to use during training the model. Okay, during training the model, this is the SAS URI that you need to use. I'm copying that SAS URI here. Okay, this is the URI. This is the URI that I'm going to copy here. So let me go to the Azure portal and go to inside this AI 102 resource group. Are you able to see this storage account AI 102 form? Are you able to see this? Yes or no?
Yes.
Go and click the storage account. And here at the left blade, you can see the storage browser. Okay, you can see this storage browser preview. You can see the storage browser preview. Go there. And here you will be having blob container file shares. These are different storage accounts. So go and click this blob containers. So can you see that sample forms folder here? Inside this sample forms, you are able to see all the forms that you have uploaded from your system. Are you getting my point? You have uploaded all the forms to the storage account. Now the system is going to train the model by taking the forms from this storage account. So how this model is going to, how this system is going to take this data from the storage account? Using the SAS URI, that I am giving. So this is the URI that I need to have in order to access this storage account. So let me go back. And so I have run this code. So let me go to the Python folder. And here, go to the train model. And inside this train model, I need to go to the env file. So here, they are asking for the form key and the endpoint. Where I'm getting this form key and the endpoint. So let me go to the FR demo 300. Go to the keys and endpoints. Copy this key and paste that here. Copy the endpoint. This is the endpoint. Paste that here. Then storage URL, which is the URL. This is the URL, right? So let me copy this entire URL. You need to store that, otherwise you're not able to see that again. So let me paste that here. You're going to store that. Okay, so now we are able to set all the environment variables. Then go to the train model.py. So this is the next file that we are going to open. And here, what all are the things that we need to do? So here some codes are not needed, and I'm going to remove that code. Okay, remove that code. So first of all, these codes are not required. These two codes are not required, but it's there inside the GitHub. So let me put the comments here. So let me import the OS and load.env for loading all the environment variables. So after that, I'm going to create the form training client. I'm importing this module, Azure key credentials, then loading the environment variables, form endpoint, form key, and the storage URL. So I have done one mistake. So I don't need to have this form recognizer client. That is the 20th line. I'm also commenting that one. Okay, I'm going to comment this thing. So here, what we are doing, we are going to create a form training client, and inside that, we are going to pass the endpoint and the key information, as we done in the computer vision and in text analytics. In all those cases, we are doing the same thing. We are going to create a form training client here. And after that, look at this. Please look at this. Form training client begin training. Okay, we are going to train our own models. So we already provided all the storage account information. So inside this location, you will be having your data. So you are saying that you will be having your data inside this. And here I am mentioning that use training labels equal to false. What is the meaning of this? Can you say that? If you are listening to my session, you can say that. Use training labels equal to false. What type of machine learning is used
Unsupervised.
here? Unsupervised, right? Unsupervised. So when it comes to the case of unsupervised, I would like to share one information to you. You can see all the files inside these sample folders. So out of that, this is form number 1. This is the form number 1. This is the form number 2. Okay, when we are going to use this unsupervised method, only this information is used. Okay, only this information is used. Form 1, form 2, form 3, form 4, and form 5. These are the images. Only these 5 images are used. When we are going with the supervised learning, then all these informations are used. That means these are the labels. These all are the labels. Okay, when we train with the supervised learning, we are going to use all these files along with these images also. But when it comes to the case of unsupervised learning, we are only going to use these images. So I'm.
What are the other files, Nithin? Like we have .ocr also in there.
Yeah, I will tell you regarding that. I will tell you that in the next exercise. Okay, I am going to set that to true, and I will explain those things also. Is that okay? First of all, I am going with the unsupervised method. Then I will go with the supervised method. So next, I'm going to get the training, and once it is trained, you're going to get the results here, and you're going to print the model ID. Okay, you're going to print the model ID. You're going to print the model.status. You're going to get the model training started date and the training completed date and time. Okay, so this is the code for running. Here you don't need to paste anything. Okay, here you don't need to paste anything. Just comment these two things and also comment this thing. If you're not commenting that, then also it will work fine. But there is no point in using that statements. That's why I put comment there. So let me run this file. So in order to run this file, I told you that first of all you need to install this SDK for this form recognizer. So how we are going to train that? So let me go and open that in integrated terminal. So let me type here like Python, then space train model.py, train model.py. So let me show you that it is going to train your model. It is going to train your model with the sample images that you are having. We can wait for that. Now you are getting this information, right? Now you are getting this information. Let me copy this information and paste that here. Okay, let me copy that information and paste that here. Look at the PPT. Upload at least 5 samples. We have done that. We generated a SAS URL. You train your model and you now obtain your model ID. You obtain your model ID. Okay, so model ID is the this one. This is the model ID. Once you're done with that, then you can test your model. How? Go to the test model.py. Go to the environment variables. So what is the keys and okay, so your model ID is this one, right? In order to test your model, you need to copy this model ID and paste that here. Okay, this is the model ID. Now you have trained your model, right? Then you need to get the environment files, right? So let me copy the entire thing and paste that here. This is the same information, right? So let me save that. So let me save that. So this is the environment variables. Then go to the test model.py. In test model.py, so let me comment some. We don't need to have this. We already trained our model, so we don't need to use this form training client. Now we need to actually use the form recognizer client. Okay, we need to test. So let me put that and let me put a comment here also. So what we are doing, you're going to load the necessary modules. Then you're going to load the endpoint and the key. Then you're going to create a form recognizer client by passing the endpoint and the key information. Then after that, you're going to get the model ID. Then you're going to pass the test1.jpg, which is the test1.jpg, which is the test1.jpg. Inside this Python, you will be having the test model, and you can see this is the test1.jpg. Okay, so this is the file that you are going to give for the testing purpose. So let me open this. Okay, so we are going to pass that test1.jpg and we are going to read that, and we are passing that to the begin recognize custom forms function. So this is the model ID, and along with that model, you're going to supply that image, that is the test image, right? You're going to pass that information. You are getting the results back. And here, what you're going to do? Here, you are going to extract the fields, labels, and with the corresponding confidence. You are going to print all those information here. Finally, you are going to run this code. So let me show you that. So let me save this code. Let me save this code and go to the environment files and save the environment file. Let me go and open that in integrated terminal. So here you can type Python test.py, model.py. Sorry, I have made a mistake. Python 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 test model.py. So let me wait for that. So are you able to see the fields? Field 0 has a label Hero Limited with the value email. Field 1 with company phone. This is the number. Field 2 website. This is the website. Are you getting this information? Yes or no? Are you able to see this? Can I get the confirmation from you? Why you are not responding?
We can able to
Yes.
see, but
Yes.
You are able to see all these fields, but we cannot ensure that all these things are right. Right? We cannot ensure all these things are right. Why? Because it's used the unsupervised method, right? It's used the unsupervised method, and the forms that we have given is limited, right? Only 5 forms are given for this purpose, for the training. If you're giving more forms, then the accuracy will be more high. But here it is saying that field 0, field 1, field 2, it does not know what exactly these fields are. Unsupervised learning. But still, it is saying that for this label, this is the value. For this label, this is the value. Here we are able to get this information. This is the difference of unsupervised learning. Please look at these things. Field 0, field 1, field 2, field 3. Think like that. You are building your own business, and you will be having your own custom forms, and you need to extract some specific fields. Okay, you need to extract some specific key value pairs. You need to extract some specific key value pairs. If that's the case, then how you need to train? That's the idea that I'm going to tell to you. After that, we are going to complete this module and take lunch. We can go for the lunch. So let me tell you this information to you. So in the sample forms, you can see this form1.jpg. Okay, this is the form1.jpg. Next, we are going to train that with the supervised learning. In supervised learning, we are going to provide with some other informations like form1.jpg.labels.json. So you can see that in that form1.jpg, you're going to specify the label information and the bonding information for all those cases. Like for each of these words, you're going to specify the bounding box information. This is the layout. This is the layout of that particular form. Okay, this is the layout information of that particular forms. And along with that, this is the complete layout of that form. Okay, this is the complete layout of that form. This is the complete layout of that forms. But in this layout, you need to specify the fields that you are actually interested. You need to specify the fields that you are interested. In unsupervised learning, we are not giving any information like this. But in supervised learning, you are saying that I need to extract the merchant field from the form. I need to extract the phone number field from the form. I need to get the website from the form. So in unsupervised learning, you are not going to give this information, but here you are specifying the fields that you need to get. That's the difference of supervised learning. That's the difference of
But
supervised.
one doubt,
Right.
if we have just a form, and how to generate this JSON forms, what you are showing?
Yeah. For that, we will be having another site. Let me check form. What is the? So let me analyze form layout analyze. So let me take this portal. This is another portal with which we can actually work. Sometimes it will take time. Are you able to see this?
Yes.
So here, what you can do is that you can go to the Azure portal. You can go to the Azure portal and copy your key and paste that key here. Okay, you can paste that key here. And in the case of form recognizer endpoint, you can copy this form recognizer endpoint and paste that here. Okay, after that, what you can do, you can browse for a particular file. Let me go to the AI 102 engineer page and go to the custom forms and go to the sample forms, then pick this one, right? So I have picked this one. After that, go and click this run layout. You can go and click this run layout. Now you are able to extract the JSON. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
So there are sites for extracting the layouts. This is the site from Azure itself. Okay, this is the site from the Azure itself where you can generate these files. But for simplicity, in this exercise, you are provided with all this information. You don't need to extract the JSON file from that layout.
But that form analyzer, is it open source or is it a
Yeah,
package?
it's open source. It's open source. You can use that.
Okay.
It's open source. So you are provided with all the layouts of these forms. Okay, this is the layout that you are able to extract. And this contains the specific fields that you are interested. And this specifies the field key, field type, all those things. So here you are going to have a field.json. This is common for every forms. That means these are the fields that you are interested in. And for this form1.jpg, you are specifying that the location for this specific text, like where is that key, where is that value. Okay, you're going to specify all those things here. So you'll be having the corresponding labels information too. So once you are able to do that, what you can do, you can go to the train model.py. Then what is the step that you need to change? Can you say that? Can anyone say that? What is the step that we need to do in this
Use
model?
training label to be true.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of this false, you can put it as true. At the time, it is going to use all the labels. Okay, it is going to use all the labels. So let me go and save this. Okay, let me save this file and go and open that in integrator terminal, and let me rerun this code. Python test train.py model.py. Python train model.py. So it is actually training. So now you're getting this model ID, right? So you are able to get the model ID. Copy this model ID, go to the test model and replace this model ID with the new model ID that you have obtained. Okay, so now I have copied this. Go to the test model, open that in integrator terminal, then test model.py. So let's wait for that. So is there any difference in this output?
Yes.
What is the difference?
Instead of field 0, it was showing as field company name.
Right, right. So here you can see that company name, vendor name, purchase order number, subtotal, tax, quantity, phone number, total, signature, dated as merchant, company address. These are the fields that you are actually interested in. You specified those things inside this JSON file itself. Merchant, phone number, website, you're interested in this. So when you run this file, you're going to extract all the values for these particular fields. That's the logic. But when it comes to the case of unsupervised, it does not know what all are the fields that I need to extract. It will extract all the things for you. Is that clear to all of you? Is that clear to all of you?
Yeah.
Can I get the confirmation from you?
Yeah, can you repeat that for the JSON related? What in case if you have extra fields?
So if you need to extract additional fields, then you can specify all those things here. So look at this merchant phone number. How many fields are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15 fields. That means with this code, you are only able to extract these 15 fields. If you need to add more fields, then you can give the field key, field type, and the field format. Along with that, for each of these forms, you need to specify the location of that particular field in this form. If you're able to do that, then you can extract all those informations. Are you getting my point?
But you mean to say we need to give our own bounding box?
No, this bounding box will be automatically detected from the layout service itself. I have shown that idea to you. Using the form, this site, you are able to get the layouts. From this layout itself, you are able to actually extract this bounding box information. You don't need to provide anything. Are you getting my point?
But for the output in this sample sheet also, we will have a bounding box, right?
Yeah, because
like for example, the company name in the sample sheet
sure,
that
sure.
that.
I got that. But you are not able to get those information, right?
No, that is not my doubt. In the sample sheet for extracting this form, we have given one sheet in form analyzer, right? In that, for example, if the
I don't get that.
no form analyzer, one separate Azure services you have showed, right, previously.
Right.
So in that one sample sheet we are providing.
Yeah, we need to
For
provide the
example,
sample
in
sheet.
that company name is, for example, it is a TCS, which is they have given just as TCS. So is the bounding box is getting only for the 3 digits, like for the TCS, or is it only taking the company name as a bounding?
Yeah, I got that. I will tell you that
Because
information.
next time if we give some other name, for example, Accenture, so it will take only ACC in the starting 3 letters.
Right. I got that. So let me explain those things to you. So what this form recognizer service gives to you is that when you're training with new forms, you need to supply the labels information too, right? So you will be having the option to drag the items there. So at that time, automatically that bounding box information will be encoded in that layout file. Are you getting my point? You're saying that this is the label. You're specifying like this. In the portal itself, you will be having the option for this. You're specifying that this is the label that I am focusing on, and this is the corresponding key value for that. Okay, if you're specifying those information, that information regarding this bounding box will be automatically given to you by the JSON
Is the
format.
value key value will be okay, but value wise, is it also fixed length boundary box or is it a variable?
So if you're saying that Tata consultancy service, then you can put all those Tata consultancy service in a single bounding box. Then it will learn according to that. If your form contain only TCS,
No.
then you can select that TCS only. Then it is going to train according to that.
It's a system generated. What in case if it handwritten, it cannot be in the same, bonding boxes. It can be a varies.
I got that. So when it comes to the case of handwritten, I earlier told you that that's in preview stage, but still they are actually working. In the case of form recognizer, it supports handwritten recognition, but it's in preview stage. Now we are actually working with the printed text. Okay, now we are actually working with the printed text, but handwritten recognition is also supported, but it's in preview stage. Are you getting my point? It's in preview stage. It's not fully functional. It's in preview stage. You can type like this: form recognizer codes digits, handwritten letters. Go and type Azure also. So you're going to get. Are you getting the first link? This link, beyond the printed form, unlocking insights from the documents with form recognizer. This is in preview stage. Are you getting my idea? This is the question that you have asked. Yes or no?
Yes.
So in this case, you're dragging this bounding box and it will be automatically extracted. That's the logic. Is that clear to all of you?
What do you mean by dragging it? I mean.
Okay. So let me explain that. So let me, first of all, you are taking this form and you need to specify the bounding box for the first name. How? Like this. If this is the name, then you need to draw a bounding box over this name. At that time, the system will automatically understand that this is the name that you have provided. And with this name, you're also going to get the bounding box information where this name is inside this form. That means for each of these labels,
You mean to say we need to train it manually with the bounding boxes?
It's not training manually. So for this purchase order in that particular, for example, this text purchase order, in that particular form, this is the location. This is the location information. Are you getting my point? In that form, there is a word called purchase order. And in that form, this is the location where that text is. Is that okay?
Okay.
You're not able to get that. Okay, so let me draw this again. Suppose you will be having one form. Okay, suppose you will be having one form. And in this form, here it's printed like name. And this is the field where you are putting handwritten letters, right? Your thing like that, Nithin. And when it comes to the case of labeling, what you need to provide is that you need to say that I am interested in this field name. I'm interested in this field name. And after that, you need to take this form and specify the bounding box. This is the value for that particular name. At the time itself, what happened is that it is going to take that name along with the bounding box information. That means the top XY, then this xy, and this xy. That means this Nithin is located at this specific location. That means you're going to get the x1, y1, x2, y2. You're providing all this information. Are you getting my point? Otherwise, how the system will know this Nithin is located in this position? The system is not knowing about that. When it comes to the case of object detection also, what we are doing, if one car is there in this image, then you need to specify the location before the training itself. You need to provide the label information that this car is located at this position inside this image. Likewise, in the form recognizer also, we need to provide those information. Is that clear? For each of these words, we are going to get the location information. Hero Limited, this is the corresponding location. For the word EN, this is the corresponding location. For the company phone number, this is the corresponding location. Is that clear to you, all of you?
Yeah, we need to give it manually, right, for the anticipated values.
Actually, we don't need to encode the numbers. We need to just draw the bounding box. At the same time, it is automatically generating the numbers for you.
So do we use, any specific tool we need to use for that? Or
yeah, for that we can use this this FOT tool. You can actually see this, right? So this is the tool where you can actually do the training. So let me share that tool to you. There are different ways in which we can actually work. We can work with the SDK, or we can work with the REST API calls, or we can actually go with this method. Okay, in order to use this same approach, you can use the pre-built models. Here you need to select the type of form, whether it's an invoice, receipt, or business card. Then give your file. It will automatically detect the things for you. So let me give that idea to you. So I'm going to browse a file like this one, and after that I'm selecting the form type as invoice and run analysis on this. So are you able to see this? Yes or no? Are you able to see this?
yes. I mean, what case if I missed anything, errors or something like that? How do we know? I mean, confidence interval.
Which one?
I mean, in case if we miss anything, how do we validate it? I mean, metrics.
So basically, you're going to get, it's not like the confusion metrics and all those things. You're going to get the confidence score here. During the training, during the supervised training, you need to specify the labels and the associated fields. It's your responsibility to do that. And after that, you're going to get the confidence score based on that. You need to manually check that. Are you getting my point?
Yeah. So event is 69% is confident.
That means it is not sure about this based upon the data that we are giving. It is training according to that, right? It is training according to the data that we are giving. And based upon the data, they are saying that with 69% of confidence, this is the invoice date. We cannot say 100%. We cannot say like that, because based upon everywhere in machine learning, for every result, you are going to get a confidence score. It's similar like that. So based upon the data, it is saying that it can be an invoice date with 69% of probability. If it is saying below 30% of probability, then you can say that it's not the invoice date, like that. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we have completed the 11th module, and now it's time 12:59. That's okay. You can take. Can we come after 50 minutes? Can we come after 50 minutes? 50 minutes break. So the last module, it's little bit lengthy module. Is that okay to all of you?
Sure.
Or 1 hour? You need to have 1 hour.
1 hour.
Okay. So let me turn on the timer. You can come back at 2 p.m. Okay, you can come back at 2 p.m. So take a break and come back after 2 p.m.